Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ufoma and my name means peace, and we're going to be talking about peace today. I have always felt like my parents naming me Ufoma or peace really affected my life because I believe that I'm someone who prides myself on seeking peace above every other thing. I try my best to seek peace in my relationships with people, and I strive for it. Really, I place it on a pedestal above so many other factors and things that we should aspire for, I guess. So, but recently I realized that even though I might be someone who seeks out peace when I in relation with other people, I was not always being peaceful within me. And this does not mean that I do not love myself. I think I do. I've done a great job of getting to a place where I love myself, and I think that it's not it's not really from a place of not loving myself, but it's from a place of thinking that being anxious is love. What do I mean by this? Because of certain things that have happened to me, I think my mind has mistaken being overly anxious for care, right? Like many of us, we our minds are wired to, you know, preempt problems and see if they can solve them. And I realized that so many of the things that I was worrying myself, like so many of the things that I worry about, so many of the things that I think about, and make myself anxious about, so many of the things are out of my control, and they make me anxious, they make me nervous, and they affect me physically. And um that is not love. I'm going to be drawing from the scriptures, obviously, and I cannot remember the place, but it says perfect love cast out all fears. If I love myself and if I believe that God loves me, I should not give in to fear. I should not give in to worrying too much. Of course, worry is part of this world. I always say to worry is human, right? But being overly anxious, like, I do not know if this happens to other people, but I think of every case, everything that could possibly go wrong many times, I think, because I have experienced so many things, like a home invasion. I have walked into a robbery in a supermarket. I so many things. So it made me like, and some of them happened when I was really young. So it made me always be on high alert. And I just realized recently that me being on high alert does not make me any prepared, does not keep me safe in any way. And recently I was reading the book of Psalms, and it gave me such clarity on this particular matter. So I would love to share it with you. It's Psalm 121, Psalm 131. So let me read it. It says, my heart is not proud, O Lord, my eyes are not haughty. I do not concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me. And I really like verse 2. It says, but I have stilled and quietened my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother, like a weaned child is my soul within me. But I really want us to focus on the verse 1, right? My heart is not proud. I feel like this points to the fact that being overly worried, being overly concerned with everything is a form of pride. Maybe not intentionally, but there's a part of us that might think that by worrying about everything, all the worst case scenarios, we can handle it, right? Maybe that is what I got from this first verse, that many things are too wonderful for us. I think that many things are out of our controls, like all the things that we think that might go wrong. What could we really do, right? What can we really do if all the worst case scenarios happens? Like, has anyone ever anxiously worried themselves? Like, has anyone ever anxiously solved a problem out of like ruminating thoughts? I don't think so. Has any ruminating thoughts ever brought like a solution? I don't think so. And I think that by concerning ourselves with all the things that could go wrong, even when things are going right, it is a form of doing the work of the divine, because I think that the divine's purpose is to know everything, right? The divine's purpose, the purpose of God, it is within God's prerogative to know everything, right? And so it is within God's ability to be aware of every way that things can turn out, right? And by worrying and by worrying about thing that could possibly go wrong. We are taking over the role of God, and we are concerning ourselves with matters too great for us. And this does not mean that whenever we do it that God is really upset with us or anything. I do not think so. But it puts too much a burden on us, right? It puts too much a burden on us, and Christ has already told us to give our burdens over, right? To take up his own burden, which is lighter, and give up all our worries and all our fears, right? So I do think that it's something that we should consider, right? That worrying too much, worrying about everything that could go wrong or whatever, it's worrying about, it's taking up the job of the divine. What if something happens, right? What will your worry do about it, right? And I also think that because of what happened, right, to me, I always felt like I was always in fight or flight, right? And I realized that I have to trust, right, that I can be in a rest mode, right? And I had to speak to myself and say that, you can be in rest, and if something happens where you need to react, you can trust that your body will react, right? Because we have been made beautifully. We can trust that we can react enough, right? So we should not deprive ourselves of being able to rest. We should not deprive ourselves of being able to trust in God, to lean on his omniscience, right? We should trust that God is aware of everything, and that he's in control, and that by trying to overthink, we're trying to take up God's job, we're trying to do the work of God, we're trying to compute in the way that only the divine can do, we're trying to analyze in the way that only the divine can do. We need to trust. So that is my message that I feel like sharing today, that we need to trust. We need to learn to quieten our souls when our minds starts to roam and think of all the things that could go wrong. Oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? We need to remind ourselves that that is the work of God. That is the work of the divine. We're just going to rest in the present moment. We're just going to rest in the ability, in the knowledge that God is able to handle it all, right? God knows all that is going to happen, and he is in control of everything. And so that is what this chapter, like, that is what I got from this chapter, that we should put our hope in God, right? We should put our hope in God. So to summarize, we should not concern ourselves with things too fantastic for us. And what does that mean? For me, it means worrying about all the what ifs, right? We should quieten our soul within us. We should, like a weaned child with its mother, we should quieten our soul. We should speak to our spirit man. We should speak to our soul. We should speak to our mind and say, peace, be still. This is something that God can handle. This is not anything. This is not within my capacity. Like, worrying about this thing is not going to solve it. So rather than worry, we can pray. We can hand it over to someone, the person, the being who already knows how everything plays out, right? So that is all I have to share for today, and I hope that it has been helpful. I really got so much while studying this chapter, and I don't know that I have been able to explain it or share it the way that it was ministered to me. And so I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.